Hello, it's Arlene with Design with Arlene. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the Reno, Nevada area, and today I am going to be making a pop-up card. It's a little bit of a different design than what I've seen before, so I'm hoping you'll enjoy it. I am making it using the Stamp Set Art Gallery along with the dies that go with it. This is the Floral Gallery dies. And at the end of this video and in the notes too, I will have the link and also information on how you can receive the instructions for this card absolutely free. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting out with 2 pieces of terracotta tile, and they've been scored. The top one's been scored in the middle, and then I have 3 score lines going down on the second piece of cardstock. I also have a smaller piece of cardstock in the old olive. And then for the designer series paper, I have 2 pieces that are cut in the same size, as well as a different size 2 pieces, and then 2 more pieces cut at even a different size. For the first layer of the cardstock, the terracotta tile, all you're going to do is just score it in the middle. And then I like to take a bone folder and give it a really good crease. You're going to need good creases, especially on this particular card. And then I also have the other piece of terracotta tile, and I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to be folding it in the middle and then folding it in the different direction on 2 of the outer edges, the outer folds. So it's going to look like a W. And once you have that, again, give it a really sharp crease with your bone folder. In the middle of the card, go ahead and open it up, and on that middle fold line, with a ruler, mark 1/2 inch. And just put a little mark line. And then 1/2 inch from the bottom edge. And then you're going to make a slit in between those 2 marks. I have the classic label punch, and so I'm going to cut an opening with that. Just going, turn my label upside down, my punch upside down, and then I'm going to place my paper just barely. See, it barely shows through, and on the edge of your punch, that's where you want to be able to see that little mark that you just made. Okay, that little guide that was 1/2 inch in, and then just go ahead and punch that. And then repeat. So on the other side of your cardstock, the edge is going to line up with that little mark that you made. Just ever so slightly. You just want to trim off a little bit. Okay. So you've got that. It opens up and you've got that little slit inside the middle. Using the same piece of cardstock on one side, you're going to make some little marks here on that fold line. 3 marks. I've got the 3 marks there, and then I'm just going to repeat that process on the other side as well. Now I've drawn a line to connect each of those dots. When you do this for your own card, you wouldn't need to, or you can draw a line and then erase that with pencil and then erase it. And then I'm going to score on those lines with the score from the paper trimmer. Just scoring on those. It's going to be actually 4 different lines here that I'll score on. And you can see where I've scored these lines. Now what you're going to take next is just using these score lines. Go ahead and fold them up, kind of making a mountain. Okay, so it's a mountain fold and then 2 valley folds. And then repeat that process on the other side. So it looks like that. Okay, and then with the old olive piece, you want to, on the short end, just score 1/2 inch, put a score line at 1/2 inch, and then fold it down like this. Now we're going to match up our designer series paper with our cardstock. So I'm going to use 2 of the pieces of designer series paper here and just glue the designer's paper, series paper onto each side of the old olive color. And then taking the terracotta tile cardstock that only has one fold line, one score line, we're going to glue this insert inside here. So just fold that from the score line, fold it under, and then you're going to meet, the two score lines are going to meet right there in the middle. And glue that in, center it as best you can. Okay, making sure the card can close. And next we're ready to put the two pieces of cardstock together. So go ahead and lift up this piece of the old olive. So it looks like this and it's standing up. And then just go ahead and slide the top cardstock over the old olive, piece of old olive that's standing up. Okay, and going to just apply some glue onto the back side here. And glue this to the outer piece of cardstock, making sure that you line up those edges, the bottom edges right here. So glue that down. Once it's had a little bit of time to set, just repeat the process on the other side. Again, making sure that you line up the edges. You are going to have, it's not going to lay flat. It's going to look like this, and you want it to do that so that way it will close correctly. So always make sure that you're lining up the edges on each side, and that way it will close. And now we're ready to add some more of the paper and embellishments. Okay, with the more square looking piece of designer series paper, just add your glue. And that's going to be going onto one side of the card. And then you're going to turn it around and do the same thing with the other side, only remember how we put our little mountains on there, the mountain folds, so it's going to have to be trimmed down just a little bit. So you can either measure it, take a pencil to it with a ruler. I pretty much like to just eyeball it. Do that and then trim off a little bit. And then if I don't get it just right, I usually go back and do it again. Looks pretty good. Again, you've got another piece, the rectangle piece that's going to go on the top. Again, like for this one, we're going to trim off the edges. The two corners, just the two corners. Okay, and it closes like this. Again, always the more creased the folds are, the better on this, because it is quite thick. So it's always a good idea to just crease those folds as much as you can. Now I have gone ahead and done some pre-cutting, so I cut those dies out. I've got a few of these. These are the flowers. This is Pool Party, Flirty Flamingo, and the Poppy Parade. And then from Poppy Parade, I cut out the Just Want to Say. That's when the die cut from that bundle. And then I also have the little frame, and then I stamped in Poppy Parade one of the sayings here, and I just cut it out by hand there. Okay, so now I'm just going to be gluing the saying onto the front of the card, the pop-up part. So you can put a photo in here, or a saying, or a stamped image too. I'll be adding this, and then I wanted to show you what you can do with these flowers right here. So these are going to go on the insides. This is the mountain fold, and I'm just going to be gluing one flower on each of those folds. And here is the finished card. I've put some designer series paper on the outside, the front and the back, and then when you open it up, your card looks like this. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I certainly had a lot of fun making this pop-up card, and I want to share the instructions with you. So for the month of February, that's 2021, when you purchase from me through my website with a purchase of $35 or more, you will be emailed the PDF instructions for this card. So, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. And for more tutorials and weekly lives, check out my Facebook page. It's Design with Arlene. And again, the link is in the description below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to see you. And if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, please consider subscribing. Thank you and have a great day.